as I was saying, I really want to start talking more about the historical figures who can be an inspiration for us today. And one of them, I've got a lot of them in mind. One of them is the Reverend Claude Williams. Now, the Reverend Claude Williams was a Southern preacher in the 1920s and a political activist. I believe he was also the uncle or great uncle of the singer and songwriter Lucinda Williams. Now, it became clear to Reverend Williams that the poverty and segregation that he saw throughout the South was immoral and, to his mind, ungodly. So he became an activist. Reverend Williams led a hunger strike for unemployed workers. He went to jail. He was expelled from his church for heresy. Once, according to a story about Reverend Williams, a white house guest was frightened to have dinner at his home with fellow dinner guests who were black. So he pulled the shades down. Remember, this was at a time when people who were considered guilty of quote-unquote race mingling could be killed by mobs in the Deep South. According to the story, Reverend Williams flung his window shade open, flung the window itself open, and shouted, quote, "Let them see how the true followers of the Son of Man," that is to say Christ, behave. That was Reverend Claude Williams. He was courageous. He was a hero. He taught sharecroppers. He worked with the Southern Tenant Farmers Union. According to the old folk singer Lee Hayes of the Weavers, he helped reshape the old gospel tune, "I Shall Overcome," into the political anthem, "We Shall Overcome." Later in life, he faced the House Un-American Activities Committee, worked with the Civil Rights Movement, and founded the People's Institute for Applied Religion. He said of the poor whites he organized, quote, "Our approach was not an attempt to supplant their present mindset, but to supplement it with a more horizontal frame of reference." And we found that supplementing and supplanting turned out to be the same thing. Reverend Williams also said, quote, "I've been run out of the best communities, fired from the best churches, and flogged by the best citizens of the South," end quote. Now, at a time when people are being pressured in red states to conform to the Trumpian norm, it is more important than ever to elevate heroes who defy the norm, like Reverend Claude Williams. And when people are being vilified because they are leftist critics of institutional politicians in both parties, it is more important than ever to note that it is okay to be vilified as long as you are being vilified because you stand up for justice.